The following is not meant for children, has been edited by Cute Stuff, and is brought to you by support from Patreon. Hello, and welcome back. I am MasterAelix, and this is MasterAelix's Build Love Time, or better known as MasterAelix's BLT. The videos in this series are where I go over character builds for some of my favorite RPGs. In this video, I plan to show you, step by step, how to make a character build that I really enjoy, and explain why I enjoy it, and hopefully you will too. Now, I like to make fun and flavorful character builds, something that leans more into roleplay, R-O-L-E play, instead of R-O-L-L play. However, it never hurts to give yourself a bit of a numerical advantage. You know what I'm talking about. Now, my way is far from the only way to build characters. This is just one character built in a way I think is fun. However, I hope I've done a good enough job that you would want to play this character too. However, feel free to change things to make the character one that you want to play. As I go through this build, I'm going to go into detail into what and why I selected the things I did. But what I won't be doing is read the books to you. First off, that's very boring. Second, doing that removes the need for you to get your own books. I love these games, and I love for you to support the publishers, so go buy their books. Now, let's take time to build this BLT.
Hey, all you scraplets gotta listen to me, Roadhog. Get out of my way, Bone Crusher. Your fat aft is taking up the whole road. And Long Haul, you're out of position. Move yourself to the other side. Hook, Scrapper, Mixmaster's coming. Get out of the way before I flatten the both of you. And someone tell me where the hell Scavenger is before I lose my temper.
Today's BLT is for the Transformers RPG by Renegade Games. This week's art is brought to us by the amazing artist Stefano Romano, or Star Dropkick over on X. You can find more of their awesome art over on their website, romanostefano.com. The character today is Roadhog. He's a steamroller with a mean streak. This bot's alt mode is a steamroller, stealthily hiding in Constructicon colors. Roadhog was part of the Constructicon team in the early days, and while he is an official part of Devastator, when the team went to Earth, they, being jerks that they are, left him behind. Nobody liked him, because he didn't care about getting the job done. He was mean and lazy like an old foreman, and he was too much a jerk, even for the Constructicons. So that should tell you something. So, let's get into the layers of this BLT, shall we? The books you'll need to get from Renegade Games to make the characters I've laid him out is the Core Rulebook, Decepticon Directive, and Enigma of Combination. So let's start off with all the foundational stuff before we start getting into levels. Influence. Now there's a lot of fun influences out there, but for Roadhog I wanted to grab Experiment, for the specific portion of Experiment that lets us get an extra internal hardpoint. Additionally, if your GM allows it, you can give him the Gestalt member influence for Devastator. Now, I didn't put this into the sheet because I'm not certain most GMs would allow it, but do keep that in your back pocket. Origin. For his origin, I decided to make him a Charger from Enigma of Combination. This origin is quite fun, and the perk it gives you when push comes to shove is great, and really lets you lean into the whole tough guy bravado of Roadhog. For this origin, I went with the speed essence increase, and for that skill point, I'll be putting that into driving. Roadhog is very ram focused, so we need that driving skill up. Roll. Roadhog is a warrior through and through, and while some warriors are here to take damage, this guy just slams himself face first into the enemy, and I love him for that. Warrior gives us a good suite of perks to start. First, the Cybertronian perk, Hardcore. For a bot that's largely mass-produced construction equipment, this feels right. Also, he's far too old and angry to die easy. The other starting perks we get are Foot Soldier, which really lets Roadhog capitalize on his speed. We also get Manifest Melee Weapon. For Roadhog, this is handy to have because there's some very specific gear I want to get, and having options later is really fun. And then there's Wisdom Through Experience, as he is an old angry man, and this works out so well. Warrior gives Roadhog a +1 to his Strength Essence, which I put into Conditioning, and it gives a +1 to Smarts Essence, which I put into his Culture skill. He's not a very cultured man, but he knows Cybertron when he sees it. Focus. The focus I selected for Roadhog is Pugilist from Enigma of Combination. This focus is very straightforward in that it focuses on ram attacks. And with what I have planned, it gets just silly and mean, scary even. The perk it gives you, Puissance, is a little restrictive, but it does make our ram attacks do extra damage, so I'm not going to complain. Pugilist gives a +1 to the Strength Essence, and I channel that into the Brawn skill. Brawn is going to be a big part of this build. Faction. For a bot that's this mean and nasty, and a Constructicon, you know he's a Decepticon. So he gets the faction perk Hail Megatron. Gear. With Roadhog's gear, there's a few key things I want to get and I need to keep in mind. For the bonus internal slot gained from Experiment, I'm going to give him the support equipment of Roller Drum from Enigma of Combination. This is a fantastic and terrifying weapon. Read it carefully as this changes up some of the rules around ramming. For the other internal slot, I put in the support equipment of a Bull Bar. This further leans into that ram focus. I wanted to give him a ram cone, but I couldn't really justify having an aircraft part on him. Now the thing to keep in mind is that Melee Manifest Weapon needs an internal slot free, so we're going to keep that one empty. For his externals, I wanted to give him something mean and nasty, so I gave him the Antimatter Close Combat Weapon from Decepticon Directive. While this does have a few drawbacks, hitting someone once with this is going to have them back off. And that's all you really need them to do, because then you're going to hit them with your Roller Drum. Essence Step. This step is where we can really do ourselves some favors. Like usual, I went with the suggested spread of 4, 3, 3, 2. For the 4, I put that into the Speed Essence. This lets Roadhog put 3 points into the driving skill and a specialization in ramming. This is the main combat stat for him, so we really want to lean into it. After that, we get into the +3s. The first of which goes into the Smarts Essence. For this, we want to put 2 points into Alertness, and then 1 point into something else. I went with Culture. After that, it is a +3 to the Social Essence. Social is always a slow burn for warriors, so we don't want to neglect that at this point. For the skills, I went with a +2 to Deception and +1 to Persuasion. He can be very convincing when he tries. Finally, we get to the +2, and that goes into Strength Essence. Don't worry, he'll get lots more. For this level, we're putting a skill point into Conditioning and the other into Brawn. Hey, you've made it this far into the video. Thank you for that. Seems like you're liking the video, so please show that you do by hitting the thumbs up button down below. Maybe leave a comment, tell me what you're enjoying. Now with the start sorted out, let's get into the levels. This time we're going all the way to level 6 to get the complete build. Level 2. Level 2's perk, Charge, is a staple of Roadhog. The simple prerequisites to use this perk, along with the other bonuses, is going to make your ram attacks quite something to behold. The +1 to Strength Essence is also very nice, and we'll be putting that into the skill of Brawn. Level 3. Now this is what I'm talking about. Level 3 gives us the gift of the Brutal Might perk.
This lets us use brawn in place of certain other skills, letting us focus on it instead of others. Level 3 also gives us a +1 to our speed essence, which is great and lets us put one more level into the drive skill, which is perfect as that leads directly into Level 4, Reckless Driving from Decepticon Directive. This perk is insanely good for Roadhog, more damage for your ram attacks, and while the other effect needs to have extra movement speed, Foot Soldier has got you covered because you can take extra free actions to get more movement. Smooth sailing. This level also gives us a +1 to Smarts Essence. Where you put that skill point is up to you, but for this video, I'm putting it into Survival. Level 5. Level 5's perk, Tough It Out, is great. It lets us survive more, and it's based on the Brawn skill, which we have been investing in. What is there not to love? This level also gives us a +1 to our Strength Essence, and the smart play is for the skill point to be put into either Conditioning or Brawn, and I still went with Brawn. Level 6. Level 6 is where things really come together. The perk, Bump and Run, is just too good. It gives you an upshift on your ram attacks if you've moved enough. This dovetails directly into the Reckless Driving perk as well. This level grants you a +1 to your Social Essence, which is then given to the Alertness skill. And at this point, everything I wanted to do for Roadhog is done. This old jerk is just focused on doing one thing, and that is to ram people to death. As he gets older, he only does it better. He's like a Constructicon cup, and that tickles me just a little bit. Alternatives. There are a few alternatives you could attempt. First and easiest switch is to have the origin change to support, and really go in on the support equipment. This lets you drop the experiment influence. Now, when I was making Chowabunga, this character had come to mind. I wanted to wait a little bit and see if I can fiddle around with things and get the concept and numbers to work out like I'd like. It didn't line up like I wanted, but I wanted to share this idea here. First, we change the role to Scout and take the focus of Outrider. This at level 3 gets us the perk Barrel Through and now becomes the center of the character. Swap in a tow cable and hook for support equipment for that long reach and tripping. A grappler with a roller drum is just so mean. Add in the Grinder perk and it's even worse. What really killed this idea for me was the sneaky steamroller, going invisible that scouts do. So it just didn't quite work out. It didn't have the right feel. This alternative was named Whip Crash, and I made her a female Decepticon Constructicon. She even had the steamrollers on her feet like rollerblades. Oh well, maybe next time.
And with all of that being said, here's where I'm going to say, thank you all for joining me. Please remember to like, comment, and of course subscribe. It's a little click for you, but a really big deal for me. And if you have enjoyed this video, check out the links down below for links to my artist, my editor, my Patreon campaign, and of course for a place you can get all your MaesterAelix merch. And thank you all for joining me. I shall see you all on the next one. And I'd like to give a special shout out to all my patrons who help make these videos possible. Aaron Smith, Brian Pelfrey, Chris Armstrong, Dennis Detman, Harry Thompson, and Mark Milius. Thank you all so much for your contributions. I wouldn't have this channel without you. Thank you very much.